Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm here with Ricardo Lamas, who of course is taking on Josh Emmett at UFC On FOX up in Winnipeg. Dude, I'll be up there too. I looked at the forecast. We're going to have a high of 7 degrees.
That sounds great.
Can
we host the event outside or something? A little outdoor UFC?
Dude, how are you going to cut weight in 7 degrees?
I've done it in Chicago in the middle of winter, so Canada's not going to be much different. Definitely staying indoors, though, to cut the weight, for sure.
Yeah. So I joke about this, but I'm actually nervous. Everybody knows I'm half Jamaican. My DNA, literally, screams out, what?
Yeah, I'm used to it. Like I said, coming from the Midwest, we have horrible winters also. Just bring a warm jacket and bundle up. That's all I can tell you.
Exactly, I will do. Well, listen, not to say I'm not excited to see you fight Josh Emmett, because I just always like to see you fight Ricardo, but I really did want to see you fight Jose Aldo. I know you wanted that fight again as well. So how did this matchup in particular come about? Because you and I were talking all along when you were sort of not sure who your opponent was going to be. How did it end up being Josh Emmett, who is not ranked? I want to remind people you're number 3. How did you end up with Josh Emmett?
He was basically the only guy that stepped up and wanted the fight, I guess. We heard from Sean. He had talked to everybody in the top 15, he said. Nobody would have been ready to go by December 16th. So he said Josh Emmett said he'll take it. And I didn't want, a whole training camp to go to waste. So the fight's still on, and it's time to go.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect for him, and I feel like a lot of people, yes, are afraid. I don't want to say fighters are afraid of you, but now, people would have had a lot to gain in a fight with you, but now you're kind of in the position of having way more to lose than unranked Josh Emmett has to lose. He's got a ton to gain from this. So, did you hesitate at all? I know it's great to be on a Fox card. It's free. You might get some new fans because of the free eyeballs. But did you hesitate at all, and did you think about passing on that?
Not really. I mean, when they said that basically we don't have any other choice, it was, either sit and wait or take the fight. And if we don't fight, we don't get paid. I got a family to take care of, so I got to pay bills, and Mama needs a new pair of shoes, so I got to go make some money for the wife.
And Mama's about to be a mama again, right?
Again, yeah. January 21st is the due date. So
awesome.
Pretty much I'll have about a month after the fight to get the nursery ready, get everything going, and then the little girl will be here.
Oh, I was just about to ask, what you're having, yeah?
Yeah, we're girl.
So you got 1 and 1 already, because you have a little man at home already, right?
Yeah, 1 and 1, but we'll see. I don't know. I kind of want a couple more boys, but I'll have to talk to the wife about it.
I was just gonna say I hate to tell you, we kind of control that stuff a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, the male decides the sex of the baby. If we give either the X or the Y chromosome, so it's
that is true. That is true. But we decide if the shop is open, my friend.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
If we're open for business or not, but you're right.
We could always try and slip one past the goalie, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Totally. I love it. And actually, best wishes to you and your lovely wife. I love that you're having a brand new baby. That's obviously very exciting to you. And all kidding aside, I know how important it is for you to be active and to fight. But what would have the Aldo fight meant to you? Because again, this was not only just a great fight with a big name opponent, but it's revenge, right? So. If we're being honest, how bummed were you when he got switched to the title fight with Max?
Definitely I was bummed.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was a chance to kind of avenge my last loss to him, to show everybody that last time, I could have done a lot better.
Yeah.
And, you always look for opportunities to redeem yourself in this sport and in life in general. Mm-hmm. So when you get it and then it slips away, it definitely sucks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I do wonder, what you make of his fight with Max over the past weekend. It, you know, in many ways was a rerun of the first with him being finished in the third. You're talking to someone right now who is a huge Jose Aldo fan, and I think Max is fantastic as well. But what did you make of the Aldo that you saw, and did you see a guy that you think you would have beaten?
I think everybody's beatable. I think that everybody I watch I can beat. I think Aldo kind of took the fight on shorter notice. You know, he would have had a lot more time to get ready for me as opposed to the fight with Max. He had to rush his weight cut, get his weight down faster. So I think that definitely affected him in the fight. Sorry about the noise. That's my parrot squawking.
What kind is it?
An African gray.
African gray. We used to have one too named Macho. The thing used to
nice
squawk all the time. No, those are beautiful birds. I get it.
My name's Cilantro. She's a female. She's a little over a year old, and she does not shut up. And I even have her cage covered, but she hears me talking, so she wants to join in on the conversation.
Nice.
No, but to finish the question, I definitely think gas was a factor, you know, and Holloway knew that, and he pushed the pace on him. So, you know, good for him. Holloway's a fighter with a very high IQ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really one of the things that we were talking about on the air is that Jose, yes, was preparing for a 3-round fight with you. And while we know you guys would have had a very high pace for 3 rounds, it is very different than fighting 5. So with that said, when you look at Max, and obviously your ultimate goal is to get to a shot at Max or whomever is the champion when you get that shot. When you look at Max, if you say everybody's beatable, how is Max beatable? I'm guessing maybe on the ground only because we don't see him there that often. But on stand-up, he's looking really fluid.
Yeah, he's looking good. You know, he's young and he's constantly improving, but everybody's human. Everybody has a weakness, and everybody could have that weakness.
I'm sorry, your bird is cracking me up.
Shut up! You know, I have to be careful what I say to her, too, because she'll say it.
She'll learn it.
Yeah, she'll learn it, so I can't swear at her or anything, because otherwise I'll have 2 women swearing at me at my house, you know. Besides my wife, I'll have the bird swearing at me, and it's not fun. You guys are relentless, so... I
know this.
Anyways.
But anyway.
Before I got so rudely interrupted by Cilantro, Max, you know, he's a tough guy, but he's one of those guys where you just have to constantly stay in his face, you know, and I think if I fought him again, we can make our entire fight look like the last 10 seconds of the first one. You know, I'm willing to, you know, stand in the middle and trolera, bruh, you know.
It is what it is.
Let's do it.
Yes. I think at this point, if you go in and you dab on Max, you get a little bit of advantage. I mean, and this is the thing, you know, Ricardo, we talk about this every time we talk, but it's iconic now. Those last few moments of you guys in the ring pointing to the middle of it. And, like, I love that. I love that. I mean, and everybody sort of does. But how much of that kind of scrapper spirit, you know, really is actually dangerous sometimes in a fight. Like, I feel like when I watch you fight, there are times when I really want you to be in that firefight, but you also have to fight smart. So if you were to get another chance at Max, I feel like you have to sort of avoid that point to the middle part with him, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it's a trade-off. You know, when you're sitting there in the middle of the octagon and you're both throwing at each other, one good connected punch could end it. So it's definitely a gamble, but it's something you kind of have to read in the moment. Like, I felt it at that moment when me and Max had that throwdown at the end of our fight. We were exchanging the entire fight. I took clean shots of his right on the chin, and I didn't feel like they were hurting me, so I felt okay with standing in the middle and slugging away with them, and I'd be comfortable to do it again.
But by the same token, I do feel, and again, I just mentioned this, but I feel like you have that submission advantage more, too, that we have not really seen from Max.
Yeah, Max is pretty slick with his submissions, too. He's had some good victories by submission. He sneaks that guillotine in really well when guys are going for that takedown. He's got those long, lanky arms that wrap around your neck real quickly. So you definitely have to watch out for that, but... I think if I were to put him on his back, he could definitely be in some trouble. Yeah.
So let's talk about Josh Emmett, though. It's so funny because now you're Parrot. I'm trying to remember what Macho used to say. He would squawk more. We had a mynah bird. You know mynah birds, right? They're the black one with the yellow beak, and they're really good talkers. So our Mina bird would do the whole cycle of the dishwasher because that's what he heard all the time.
Right now she's barking like my dog.
Yeah, it's so crazy. People who haven't had birds, it's a whole thing. But I come from bird people. I love them, and so that literally is cracking me up very much. And our Mina bird would like imitate the vacuum. And like people's laughs and stuff like that. It's classic. It's very funny. Yeah. So basically, your Cilantro probably says, Sean Shelby, no, I don't like that fight, right? Because you say that all the time. Sean Shelby, get me a title shot. He says I want a title shot. I bet all day long.
That's the one she'll learn real quick.
For sure. So with Josh Emmett, again, I said this at the top. You have way more to lose. But where is he dangerous? This is a guy from Team Alpha Male. He's 12-1. This is obviously somebody who's got a good skill set. How are you going to beat him?
I've watched some of his fights. It seems like he's well-rounded. He's a wrestler, but he likes to stand and box with people. He throws a lot of wild overhands. He has a lot of foot movement. He steps on a lot of angles. I think that I've seen him getting taken down and put on his back, and he does not look comfortable on his back. He does not look like he wants to be there. He turns over, gives his back right away, and tries to stand up. So if the opportunity presents itself to get that takedown, that's what I'm going to do. Other than that, I think that I'm going to be in better shape. He's the one that took this fight on short notice. I've been training for months now for a fight, and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to push hard for 3 rounds. Being in the position I'm in, it's nothing new to me. My last fight was pretty much the same way against Jason Knight, kind of a not well-known guy, but a tough fighter. And Josh Emmett, I put him in the same boat. I'm definitely going to have to be careful in the way I attack and make sure that I don't get caught with any of those wild overhands. But we've been training that. As soon as we found out we were fighting him, we started watching tape and started training for it. So I'm going to be ready no matter where the fight goes, and I'm just going to do me. That's it.
Very cool. And, Hick Diaz, Jason Knight, is on the card again. So are you guys cool with each other?
Yeah, he's fighting this weekend. Well, no, he's the weekend before me.
Right. He's this weekend in Fresno. That's right. He's this weekend in Fresno. But, yeah, Hick Diaz is he's fun. He's fun. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. At least even when they give you somebody who maybe doesn't help you get a title shot, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, at least I always know they give you somebody who's a gamer,
Yeah. Well, when up at this level, there are no easy fights. Everybody's a gamer up here, I mean, you're in the UFC and the biggest organization in the world, so you better know how to fight if you're in this organization.
Absolutely. So how much, though, Ricardo, you are number 3, and we see, Jose got the rematch with Max, which I know is probably frustrating to you, but you see the logic in that, right? So what do you think you need to do to get a title shot? Because obviously coming up this weekend, Cub Swanson and Brian Ortega are fighting. Brian, I believe, is ranked number 6, and Cub is right behind you, I think at number 4 or so. Cub wants a title shot. He's never had one. And when you look at how good he's done, he did lose to some guy named Ricardo Lamas a little while back. So
that guy. Yeah. I've heard of him. Like really super good looking and
super handsome. Drives a Harley. He's kind of a big deal.
He has a bird.
He's got a... But you know what I mean? If T-City pulls it off, let's say either of those guys, though, they've got an argument as well, and they're fighting a ranked guy. You come in, even if you demolish Josh Emmett, he's unranked. So at the end of the day, when you talk to the guys, how would you argue, hey, I deserve the title shot more than the winner of Ortega Swanson?
I think we'll have to see how both of our fights play out, Obviously, if I go in there and finish this fight, that puts me at 7 finishes in the featherweight division, only trailing by 1 to the champ. So, a lot of people, I'm a finisher. I go in there and I finish these fights. I don't look for decisions. And, that's what people want to see. They don't want to see somebody go in there and fight a boring fight to Holloway. They want to go in there. They want to see somebody bring it to them. So that's exactly what I would do. And, hopefully – I don't like thinking ahead. I have a big test in front of me in Josh Emmett. So I want to get this fight out of the way first, and then we can start talking about titles or next possible opponents.
Yeah. And obviously, too, I can't leave out Frankie Edgar, the guy that was supposed to have the fight anyway, and who I believe, probably would still get that. Like you said,
Yeah.
though, unless you or the winner, Brian and Cub, do something like unbelievably spectacular. But would you be okay with waiting for Frankie to fight Max first?
I'm sorry, you went a
No,
little
it's cool.
crazy
No, I'm
there
just
when
saying.
it was like,
I'm sorry. Yeah. No, Frankie was obviously supposed to have the title shot, and depending
Right.
on how you win your fight, or the winner of Cub and Brian, you guys are making an argument. But do you, even in your desire to have a title fight, recognize though that maybe Frankie should be next, or no?
yeah, I think all of us are in the mix there.
Yeah.
Frankie has done a great job. He's been winning. He's been beating, good guys, and he was supposed to get the shot. Unfortunately, he got injured. From what I heard, that if Holloway had won, that Frankie might get is probably going to be the next one in line. So some of us might have to wait even longer. But that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get back to that title shot.
Very nice. And that is obviously incredibly important to you. But it is interesting because at your division now, at the top of it, there are so many of you who have already fought each other. And I think that almost muddies up the title shot picture in a way.
Yeah, it does. That there might have to be some rematches. We'll see, or maybe some of these new contenders that are coming up. Like I said, with Ortega Swanson, we'll have to see what happens with that fight. If Ortega wins, it's gonna boost him up in the rankings. So he's gonna be another guy that I'm gonna have to keep my eye on. But we'll just have to see what happens and how these fights unfold.
Do you have a pick in that fight at all?
I don't know. I don't like picking fights, man.
Nobody does. But guess what? If
I
you
can
end up
see
working the
either
Fox desk one day, you're going to have to pick a fight.
Yeah. Well, I could see either one. If it stays standing, I would put it in Cub Swanson's favor. If it hits the ground, definitely Ortega. He's got those slick submissions. Triangle City. Cub Swanson better stay out of that area.
Yeah. For sure. And it does seem like the longer the fight goes on, the more it's advantageous for Ortega, just because he is a late finisher sometimes with his submissions. Either way, I think it's a great fight. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's just a great fight. So for now, though, you're still in Florida, right? So you train at ATT and then go back to Chicago and then to Winnipeg?
I train at MMA Masters.
MMA Masters, rather, right.
Yeah, I'm down at MMA Masters. Tomorrow's actually going to be my last day of training here. My brother is landing in the morning, and he's going to help me drive back on Friday. So we're going to leave early Friday morning, get home Saturday, and then head out to Canada on Tuesday.
Very nice. So who are some of your main training partners down there then on this camp? Or have you brought in anybody? I mean, it's kind of tricky because you bring in specific people for Jose Aldo, and then you get Josh Emmett. Like, you may as well you send him home, I'm imagining.
Well, I never really bring in people. Okay. At our team down here at MMA Masters, we have a wide range of professional fighters who can pretty much emulate any, lots of different styles going on. So, but my Josh Emmett imitator, I guess, was Frank Carrillo. Okay. He's a short, really friggin' muscular lightweight. He hits like a truck. He's got great hands, great movement. So he's another guy that's coming up, and he's ready for the big show, and you should keep an eye out for him. But he helped me out a lot this fight, kind of imitating Emmett. Same build, same body type, almost the same height, so it was good to work with him.
Very nice, very nice. And again, I don't know, once you make weight, though, have you had poutine? Have you been to Canada before?
I've never been to Canada before, but I have had poutine.
Good.
And it was delicious.
I know.
I don't think I should eat it before my fight, otherwise there's going to be poutine all over the campus of the Octagon. No pun intended on the poutine.
I love it. Well, I'm totally psyched to go and see you fight. I'm like legit a little bit worried about how cold it's going to be. I was joking today with my makeup artist. I was like, I'm just going to Vaseline my face like how your mom used to do when you were a kid. And I'll have like the Kenny from South Park. Like, I'm just going to be like, that's all you're going to see of me outside. But I think it's going to be fun, and I know you guys are going to put on a great show. I'm glad you said yes and stayed on the card. Like you said, I know it's so hard to get fights and to stay active. And if all things going your way, if you win the fight and you're healthy enough, how quickly do you think you would like to fight again, knowing that you're about to be a dad again?
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
So I got the baby coming in end of January. I have my UFC gym opening up in Naperville, Illinois.
Booyah!
Yeah, so we're looking to do that. Probably have soft opening in February, grand opening in March maybe. But I would say late, I'd be ready to go again late spring.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
We'll see how it goes.
Very cool. Very cool.
I have injuries in this fight, and I come out healthy.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I love it. Well, Ricardo, thank you so much for taking the time. You go let Cilantro know that we're wrapping up now, and she can do her thing. It's funny. It brings back a lot of memories. I actually really. And then I had a little cockatiel for a little while, and this might seem a little weird. I used to let it clean my teeth sometimes because I would hold it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And you go like this.
I used to have lovebirds.
Yeah.
I used to have lovebirds as a kid, and yeah. They'll sometimes go on there. She nips me sometimes. I'll be like, "Oh, give me a kiss," and she's like right on the cheek there.
Totally.
Yeah, she's being really annoying right now. Yeah. Actually.
Well, I tell you these solutions.
I have her cage covered too, but
right.
She's still. And then the dog is just sitting there.
The poor dog. He's like, really?
Yeah, it's like, shut her up.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Ricardo, and I'm looking right into the camera and saying, it wasn't mine. But somebody one time left a little part of a joint, and my bird accidentally ate it.
No way.
He was chill. I actually thought he was going to fall off the little pedestal thing because he was so tired. Takes the edge off the bird, though. I'm just saying.
I'm going to have to spike her pellets with CBD oil
totally.
or something.
I love it. As I said, once again, it wasn't mine, folks.
Right.
Yeah. But listen, all kidding aside, have you been? You don't bring your Harley to Florida, probably. That stays at home in Chicago.
My Harley's actually been in California for the past year and a half with my sponsor Carlini Design out there. So he's redoing the whole bike for me, and I should have it back after this fight. Nice,
awesome. Well, listen, as I said, really excited to see you fight. It's a good time whenever Mr. Lamas is in there. So listen, best of luck to you. Thanks for taking the time, and I will see you. 7 degrees, Ricardo. 7. That's the high.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
We'll survive, though. Don't worry.
We'll make it work. Well, awesome. Thanks for talking to me tonight, and I'll see you next week.
Okay, I'll see you.